Rice is the most important staple food for more than half of the world's population. It is the primary source of nutrition for over 3 billion people, especially in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Rice is also a significant source of income for farmers worldwide. Thus, it is essential to understand the techniques of cultivating rice. In this essay, we will discuss the process of rice cultivation, including the steps required for planting, harvesting, and post-harvesting. We will also explore the various types of rice, their benefits, and the importance of rice cultivation. Rice cultivation techniques. The cultivation of rice involves several steps, including land preparation, seeding, water management, weed control, and fertilization. The first step is to prepare the land for planting. This involves clearing the land of debris, plowing, and leveling. Once the land is prepared, the next step is to plant the rice seeds. Seeding can be done in two ways, either by direct seeding or transplanting. In direct seeding, rice seeds are sown directly into the field, whereas, in transplanting, rice seedlings are grown in a nursery and later transplanted into the field. Direct seeding is less labor-intensive but requires more water, while transplanting requires more labor but less water. Water management is a crucial aspect of rice cultivation. Rice plants require a lot of water to grow, and therefore, the fields must be flooded with water before planting. This water is later drained off when the rice plants mature. Farmers also need to ensure that the fields are properly irrigated during the growth period. Weed control is another critical aspect of rice cultivation. Weeds can compete with the rice plants for nutrients and water, and therefore, they must be controlled. This can be done either manually or through the use of herbicides. Fertilization is also crucial for rice cultivation. Fertilizers provide the essential nutrients required for the growth of rice plants. Nitrogen is the most important nutrient for rice, and therefore, farmers must ensure that their fields are adequately fertilized with nitrogen-rich fertilizers. Types of rice. There are several types of rice, each with its unique characteristics and benefits. The most common types of rice include white rice, brown rice, jasmine rice, basmati rice, and wild rice. White rice is the most commonly consumed type of rice worldwide. It is milled to remove the outer husk, bran, and germ, leaving behind a white, polished grain. Brown rice, on the other hand, is not milled, and therefore, retains the outer husk, bran, and germ. It is a healthier option than white rice as it contains more nutrients and fiber. Jasmine rice is a fragrant variety of rice that is popular in Southeast Asia. It has a delicate aroma and a slightly sticky texture when cooked. Basmati rice, on the other hand, is a long-grain variety of rice that is popular in Indian and Pakistani cuisine. It has a nutty flavor and is known for its fluffy texture. Wild rice is not technically a type of rice but is often considered one due to its similar appearance and nutritional profile. It is a whole grain that is rich in fiber, protein, and antioxidants. Benefits of rice cultivation. Rice cultivation provides several benefits, both for farmers and consumers. For farmers, it is a reliable source of income as rice is a staple food that is consumed worldwide. It also provides employment opportunities as rice cultivation requires significant labor. For consumers, rice is a nutritious food that provides energy, fiber, and essential nutrients such as vitamins and minerals. It is also low in fat and gluten-free, making it an ideal food for people with celiac disease or gluten intolerance. Land preparation involves clearing the land of any debris, plowing, and leveling it to create a suitable planting bed. Properly preparing the land ensures that the rice plants have enough room to grow and receive adequate nutrients from the soil. Seeding is the process of planting the rice seeds into the prepared soil. There are two main methods of seeding: direct seeding and transplanting. Direct seeding involves sowing the seeds directly into the field, while transplanting involves growing the seedlings in a nursery before transplanting them into the field. The method chosen depends on several factors, including the availability of labor, water, and equipment. Water management is a critical aspect of rice cultivation, as rice plants require large amounts of water to grow. The fields must be flooded before planting to allow the rice seeds to germinate. Once the rice plants mature, the water is drained off to allow the rice to dry out before harvesting. Farmers must also ensure that their fields receive adequate irrigation during the growth period to prevent water stress. Weed control is essential to ensure that the rice plants have access to sufficient nutrients and water. Weeds compete with the rice plants for these essential resources and can reduce the yield and quality of the rice crop. Weed control can be done manually or through the use of herbicides. Fertilization is also crucial for rice cultivation as it provides the essential nutrients required for the growth of the rice plants. Nitrogen is the most important nutrient for rice, and farmers must ensure that their fields are adequately fertilized with nitrogen-rich fertilizers. There are several types of rice available, each with its unique characteristics and benefits. White rice is the most commonly consumed type of rice worldwide and is milled to remove the outer husk, bran, and germ, leaving behind a white, polished grain.
Growing and caring for rambutan trees. Rambutan is a tropical fruit tree that is native to Southeast Asia. The tree produces an exotic fruit with a sweet and juicy flesh that is encased in a hairy, red and green shell. It is a highly sought-after fruit and is widely consumed in countries such as Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines. Rambutan trees are easy to grow and care for, making them a popular choice for backyard fruit growers. In this article, we will discuss how to grow and care for rambutan trees. Climate and soil requirements. Rambutan trees require a warm and humid climate to thrive. They grow best in tropical and subtropical regions with temperatures ranging between 68 to 93 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 to 34 degrees Celsius. The trees also require well-draining soil that is rich in organic matter. The pH level of the soil should be between 5.0 to 6.5. Propagation. Rambutan trees are propagated through seeds or cuttings. Seeds are the most common method of propagation. To propagate rambutan trees from seeds, you will need to remove the seed from the fruit and plant it in well-draining soil. Keep the soil moist and in a warm, sunny spot. The seed should germinate within 1 to 3 weeks. Planting. When planting rambutan trees, choose a spot with full sun exposure. The trees require at least 6 hours of sunlight per day. Dig a hole that is twice as wide and deep as the root ball of the plant. Place the plant in the hole and backfill with soil, making sure to pack the soil firmly around the roots. Water the tree immediately after planting. Watering. Rambutan trees require consistent watering to ensure healthy growth and fruit production. Water the tree deeply once a week, making sure to saturate the soil around the root zone. During periods of drought, increase the frequency of watering to prevent the tree from becoming stressed. Fertilizing. Rambutan trees require regular fertilization to promote healthy growth and fruit production. Apply a balanced fertilizer that is high in nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium every 2 months during the growing season. Avoid applying fertilizer during the dormant season as this can damage the tree. Pruning. Pruning is essential for maintaining the health and shape of rambutan trees. Prune the tree during the dormant season to remove dead, diseased, or damaged branches. Thin out any overcrowded branches to allow for better air circulation and light penetration. Pruning will also encourage new growth and fruit production. Pests and diseases. Rambutan trees are susceptible to a variety of pests and diseases, including fruit flies, mealybugs, scale insects, and fungal diseases. To prevent pests and diseases, practice good sanitation practices, such as removing fallen fruit and pruning dead or diseased branches. Use a horticultural oil or insecticidal soap to control pests. Fungal diseases can be prevented by ensuring proper air circulation around the tree and avoiding overhead watering. Harvesting. Rambutan fruit is typically ready for harvest 100 to 150 days after flowering. The fruit should be harvested when it has reached its full color and the spines on the shell have begun to soften. To harvest, gently twist the fruit off the tree, being careful not to damage the spines or the fruit. Store the fruit at room temperature for 2 to 3 days, or in the refrigerator for up to a week. Pollination. Rambutan trees are typically self-pollinating, but the use of pollinators can increase fruit production. Bees and other pollinators can be attracted to the tree by planting flowering plants nearby or by placing beehives in the vicinity. Propagation by cuttings. Propagation by cuttings is a more reliable method than seed propagation for ensuring fruit quality and disease resistance. Take cuttings from a healthy rambutan tree during the dormant season, making sure to use a sharp and clean tool. Dip the cutting in rooting hormone and plant it in well-draining soil. Keep the soil moist and in a warm, sunny spot. The cutting should develop roots and start growing within 2 to 3 months. Mulching. Mulching around the base of the tree can help to retain moisture in the soil and suppress weed growth. Use a layer of organic mulch, such as shredded leaves or bark, and apply it around the base of the tree, being careful not to cover the trunk. Training. Rambutan trees can be trained to grow in a particular shape or form, such as a single trunk or multiple branches. Begin training the tree during the first few years of growth by pruning the tree to the desired shape. Regular pruning and training will ensure a healthy and productive tree. Propagation by grafting. Propagation by grafting is a method used to produce trees with desirable characteristics, such as improved disease resistance or higher fruit yield. The scion, or desired plant part, is grafted onto a rootstock, which provides the tree with its root system. Grafting is a more advanced method of propagation and requires specialized knowledge and tools. Winter protection. Rambutan trees are sensitive to frost and cold temperatures. In areas with mild winters, the trees may not require protection. In colder climates, protect the tree by covering it with a frost blanket or burlap. Water the tree well before covering it to prevent dehydration. Sun protection. While rambutan trees require plenty of sunlight to thrive, excessive exposure to direct sunlight can damage the tree's leaves and fruits. To protect the tree from the scorching sun, use a shade cloth or plant other trees nearby to provide natural shade. Additionally, avoid using reflective surfaces, such as white walls or aluminum foil, near the tree as they can intensify the sunlight and cause damage. Growing and caring for durian trees. Durian is a tropical fruit that is native to Southeast Asia. The fruit is known for its distinctive aroma and taste, which is why it is also called the king of fruits. Durian trees are easy to grow and require minimal care, making them an excellent choice for home gardeners. In this article, we will discuss the different aspects of growing and caring for durian trees. Planting durian trees. Durian trees grow best in warm and humid climates. They require full sun and well-drained soil that is rich in organic matter. The ideal soil pH for durian trees is between 6.0 and 7.5. Before planting, prepare the soil by removing any weeds and debris. Dig a hole that is twice the size of the root ball of the tree. Place the tree in the hole and fill it with soil. Water the tree thoroughly and mulch around the base of the tree. Durian trees are propagated through seeds or grafting. Seed propagation is easy, but it takes a long time for the tree to bear fruit. Grafting, on the other hand, is faster and produces fruits that are of better quality. If you choose to propagate through grafting, choose a healthy and mature tree as the rootstock. Watering and fertilizing. Durian trees require regular watering, especially during the dry season. Water the tree deeply once a week, making sure that the soil is moist but not waterlogged. Avoid watering the tree during heavy rains as this can cause root rot. Durian trees also require regular fertilization to promote healthy growth and fruit production. Use a balanced fertilizer that is high in nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Fertilize the tree every 3 months during the growing season. Pruning and training. Durian trees require minimal pruning. However, it is important to remove any dead or diseased branches to promote healthy growth. You can also prune the tree to shape it or to control its size. Durian trees can grow up to 40 meters in height, but you can prune it to maintain a more manageable size. Training the tree to grow in a specific direction can also be done by tying the branches to stakes or trellises. Pest and disease control. Durian trees are susceptible to pests and diseases, such as fruit flies, scale insects, and fungal diseases. To prevent infestations, practice good sanitation by removing fallen fruits and leaves from around the tree. You can also use insecticides and fungicides to control pests and diseases. However, make sure to follow the instructions on the label and use the chemicals responsibly. Harvesting durian fruits. Durian trees can produce fruits after 4 to 5 years of planting. The fruits are ready to harvest when they start to drop from the tree. You can also check if the fruit is ripe by tapping it lightly. A ripe fruit will produce a hollow sound. When harvesting, use gloves as the fruit has sharp spines. Cut the stem of the fruit and handle it gently to avoid bruising. Sunlight and temperature. As mentioned earlier, durian trees require full sun for optimal growth and fruit production. In addition, they prefer a warm and humid climate, with temperatures between 25 to 30 degrees Celsius, 77 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit. In areas with cooler climates, durian trees can still grow, but they may not produce fruits as well. Soil preparation. Preparing the soil for durian trees is crucial to their growth and development. If your soil is clayey, it's important to improve the drainage by adding organic matter such as compost or aged manure. On the other hand, if your soil is sandy, it's important to add organic matter to improve its water-holding capacity. Soil pH is also important, as durian trees prefer a slightly acidic to neutral pH level. Mulching. Mulching around the base of the tree helps retain moisture in the soil and suppress weeds. Use organic mulch such as leaves, grass clippings, or bark chips, and apply a layer that is about 5 to 10 centimeters, 2 to 4 inches, thick. Avoid piling the mulch against the trunk of the tree as this can cause the bark to rot. Pollination. Durian trees are pollinated by bees and other insects. If you have a small garden or if there are no bees in your area, you can hand pollinate the flowers by using a small brush to transfer pollen from the male flowers to the female flowers. Do this early in the morning when the flowers are still fresh. Harvesting. Growing and caring for sunflowers. Sunflowers are one of the most popular and recognizable flowers in the world. They are known for their bright yellow petals and brown centers that resemble the sun. Sunflowers are easy to grow and care for, making them a great addition to any garden. Planting. Before planting sunflowers, it is important to choose a location that receives plenty of sunlight. Sunflowers thrive in warm weather and need at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight per day. The soil should be well draining, fertile, and free of weeds. It is recommended to plant sunflowers in the spring after the last frost or in early summer. Sunflower seeds should be sown directly into the ground, as they do not transplant well. To plant sunflowers, dig a hole that is twice the depth of the seed and place the seed in the hole. Cover the seed with soil and water well. Space the seeds about 6 inches apart and rows about 2 to 3 feet apart. Growing. Sunflowers grow quickly and can reach heights of up to 10 feet. They require minimal care, but there are a few things that can be done to ensure healthy growth. Watering is important, especially during dry spells. Sunflowers require about an inch of water per week. Overwatering can lead to root rot, so it is important to avoid standing water around the plants. Fertilizing sunflowers can help promote healthy growth. A balanced fertilizer can be applied once a month during the growing season. Be sure to follow the instructions on the fertilizer package for the correct amount to use. Staking sunflowers may be necessary if they become too tall or if they are in a windy location. Use a sturdy stake and tie the stem to the stake with twine. This will help prevent the stem from breaking or bending. Harvesting. Sunflowers are typically ready to harvest in late summer or early fall. The seeds are mature when the petals have wilted and the back of the flower head turns yellow. To harvest the seeds, cut the head from the stem and hang it upside down in a dry, well-ventilated area. Once the seeds are dry, they can be removed from the head and stored in an airtight container. Pests and diseases. Sunflowers are relatively resistant to pests and diseases, but there are a few things to watch out for. Aphids and spider mites can be a problem, especially in dry weather. These can be treated with insecticidal soap or by spraying the plants with water. Fungal diseases such as powdery mildew can be prevented by avoiding overhead watering and providing good air circulation around the plants. When it comes to choosing sunflower varieties, there are many options to consider. Some popular varieties include the classic yellow sunflower, as well as red, orange, and even multicolored varieties. There are also dwarf varieties available that are perfect for smaller gardens or container planting. When planting sunflowers, it is important to consider their height and growth habits. Some sunflower varieties can grow quite tall and may require staking, while others are shorter and more compact. Sunflowers can also be planted in groups or rows for a dramatic effect. In addition to their beauty, sunflowers also have many practical uses. Sunflower seeds are a popular snack food and can also be used to make sunflower oil. The tall stems and large flower heads can also be used in floral arrangements or as a decorative element in the garden. Sunflowers can attract a variety of beneficial insects, including bees, butterflies, and ladybugs, which can help with pollination and pest control. However, they can also attract unwanted pests, such as birds and squirrels, who love to feast on the seeds. To prevent this, consider covering the flower heads with a mesh bag or cheesecloth once they begin to mature. One interesting fact about sunflowers is that they are heliotropic, which means they follow the movement of the sun throughout the day. In the morning, the flower faces east, and as the sun moves across the sky, the flower gradually turns westward. At night, the flower returns to an east-facing position in preparation for the next day. This behavior is thought to help the plant maximize its exposure to sunlight and improve photosynthesis. Sunflowers are also known for their resilience and adaptability. They can tolerate a wide range of soil conditions and are often used in phytoremediation, which is the process of using plants to remove pollutants from contaminated soil. Sunflowers have been shown to be effective at removing heavy metals and other toxic substances from soil, making them a useful tool for environmental restoration projects. In addition to their environmental benefits, sunflowers have a rich cultural history. They have been used as symbols in many cultures throughout history, representing concepts such as loyalty, adoration, and spiritual enlightenment. Sunflowers were also an important crop for indigenous peoples in the Americas, who used them for food, medicine, and ceremonial purposes. Sunflowers are also popular among artists and photographers due to their striking appearance. They have been the subject of many famous paintings, including Vincent van Gogh's Sunflower series, which are some of the most recognizable and celebrated works of art in history. Sunflowers have also been used in fashion and interior design, with their bright yellow and orange hues making them a popular choice for home decor and clothing.
In a world that is constantly changing, the ability to adapt to harsh conditions is becoming increasingly important for plant species. Whether it's due to droughts, heat waves, cold spells, or pests, plants need to be able to survive and thrive in difficult environments in order to ensure their continued existence. There are a number of plant species that have evolved to survive in some of the harshest environments on Earth. These hardy plants are often found in deserts, tundras, and other extreme habitats where water and nutrients are scarce. They have developed a range of adaptations that allow them to survive in these conditions, including deep root systems, succulent leaves and stems, and specialized structures for storing water and nutrients. One of the most well-known examples of a hardy plant species is the cactus. Cacti are found in arid regions around the world and are known for their ability to store water in their fleshy stems and leaves. They also have shallow, widespread root systems that allow them to quickly absorb water after a rainstorm. In addition, many cacti have evolved spines or thorns to protect themselves from predators. Another hardy plant species is the succulent. Succulents are a diverse group of plants that store water in their leaves, stems, and roots. They are often found in hot, dry environments such as deserts and are able to survive long periods of drought by slowing down their metabolism and conserving water. Some popular examples of succulents include aloe vera, jade plants, and echeveria. Grasses are also a type of plant that are able to survive in harsh conditions. Many grass species have deep root systems that allow them to tap into groundwater sources, even during extended droughts. They are also able to quickly regrow after being grazed or burned, making them well suited to habitats where wildfires or grazing animals are common. Other hardy plant species include lichens, which are able to survive in extreme environments such as the Arctic and Antarctic, and certain types of algae that are able to survive in acidic or polluted waters. These plants have adapted to their environments by developing specialized structures or biochemical pathways that allow them to thrive in conditions that would be inhospitable to most other plant species. While there are many plant species that are able to survive in harsh conditions, it's important to note that not all plants are equally resilient. In order to thrive in challenging environments, plants need to have evolved specific adaptations that allow them to cope with the particular stresses of their habitats. As such, it's important to choose the right plants for a given environment in order to ensure their long-term survival. In addition to the aforementioned hardy plant species, there are other plants that have adapted to survive in challenging environments. One such plant is the agave, which is native to arid regions of Mexico and the southwestern United States. The agave has evolved to store water in its thick, fleshy leaves, allowing it to survive long periods of drought. In addition, the agave has developed a specialized rosette-shaped structure that allows it to capture rainwater and funnel it towards its roots. Another plant species that has adapted to harsh conditions is the camel thorn tree, which is found in arid regions of Africa and the Middle East. The camel thorn tree has deep roots that allow it to tap into groundwater sources, even during extended periods of drought. It is also able to withstand extreme temperatures and high winds, making it well suited to its desert habitat. The prickly pear cactus is another plant that is able to survive in harsh conditions. Found in arid regions throughout the Americas, the prickly pear cactus has adapted to store water in its fleshy pads and to protect itself from predators with sharp spines. In addition, the prickly pear cactus is able to reproduce through both sexual and asexual means, allowing it to quickly colonize new areas of desert habitat. The baobab tree, which is found in arid regions of Africa and Madagascar, is another plant that has adapted to survive in challenging environments. The baobab tree has a thick, water-storing trunk and branches that allow it to survive long periods of drought. It is also able to reproduce by producing large fruit that is filled with nutritious pulp, making it an important source of food for many animals in its habitat. The yucca plant is another example of a hardy plant species. Found in arid regions throughout the Americas, the yucca plant has adapted to store water in its thick, fibrous leaves. It is also able to reproduce through a symbiotic relationship with yucca moths, which pollinate the plant's flowers in exchange for a place to lay their eggs. Another hardy plant species that is able to survive in harsh conditions is the creosote bush, which is found in arid regions of North America. The creosote bush has evolved to produce a resinous compound that protects it from predators and prevents water loss through evaporation. It also has a deep root system that allows it to access water deep underground. The mesquite tree is another plant that is able to survive in arid regions. Found in the southwestern United States and Mexico, the mesquite tree has adapted to survive in environments with low rainfall by developing long taproots that can access groundwater. It is also able to produce beans that are a valuable source of food for many desert animals. The acacia tree is another hardy plant species that is able to survive in harsh conditions. Found in arid regions of Africa and the Middle East, the acacia tree has adapted to conserve water by producing small leaves that minimize water loss through transpiration. It is also able to produce pods that are an important source of food for many animals in its habitat. The sagebrush is another plant species that is able to survive in harsh environments. Found in arid regions of North America, the sagebrush has adapted to survive in environments with low rainfall by developing a deep root system that allows it to access water deep underground. It is also able to produce leaves that are coated with a waxy substance that helps to prevent water loss through transpiration. Heat date palm is another plant species that is able to survive in challenging environments. Found in arid regions of the Middle East and North Africa, the date palm has adapted to store water in its trunk and leaves. It is also able to produce dates, which are a valuable source of food for many people and animals in its habitat. One more example of a hardy plant species is the ice plant, which is found in coastal regions around the world. The ice plant has adapted to survive in environments with high levels of salt and low rainfall by developing specialized leaves that are covered in tiny, water-storing vesicles. It is also able to spread quickly and form dense mats, which helps to prevent erosion and stabilize sandy soils. The ginkgo tree is another plant species that is able to survive in challenging environments. Native to China, the ginkgo tree has survived for over 200 million years and is known for its hardiness and resilience. Rubber trees are an important crop grown in many tropical regions of the world. The trees are valued for their latex, which is used in the production of a wide range of products, including tires, condoms, and medical gloves. Caring for and harvesting rubber trees requires specific knowledge and skills to ensure that they produce high-quality latex and remain healthy over time. In this essay, we will discuss the steps involved in caring for and harvesting rubber trees. Step 1. Planting the rubber tree. The first step in caring for a rubber tree is to plant it in the right location. Rubber trees require warm, humid conditions to grow, so they should be planted in an area with plenty of sunlight and rainfall. The soil should be well drained, fertile, and slightly acidic. It is best to plant rubber trees in the early rainy season when the soil is moist and the weather is mild. The spacing of the rubber trees should be around 5 meters apart to allow ample room for growth. Step 2. Fertilizing and pruning. Once the rubber tree is planted, it needs to be fertilized and pruned regularly. Fertilizer helps to ensure that the tree has the nutrients it needs to grow and produce high-quality latex. A balanced fertilizer with a ratio of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, NPK, of 18-18 and 18 seconds or 20-10 and 10 seconds can be applied every 3 months. Pruning is also essential to ensure that the rubber tree grows properly. Pruning involves removing dead or damaged branches, as well as any branches that are growing in the wrong direction. Pruning should be done in the dry season, as it helps to prevent the spread of disease. Step 3. Tapping the rubber tree. Tapping the rubber tree is the process of collecting latex from the tree. To tap a rubber tree, a small cut is made in the bark of the tree, and a container is attached to collect the latex that flows out. The tapping should be done in the early morning when the temperature is cooler, and the latex is more fluid. The tapping should be done every other day, and the latex should be collected in a clean container to prevent contamination. Step 4. Processing the latex. Once the latex has been collected, it needs to be processed to produce high-quality rubber. The latex is mixed with a coagulating agent, such as formic acid or acetic acid, which causes the latex to coagulate and form solid rubber. The rubber is then washed and dried to remove any excess water. Step 5. Harvesting the rubber tree. Rubber trees can produce latex for up to 30 years. After this time, the tree is usually cut down and used for timber. However, before cutting down the tree, it is essential to make sure that all the latex has been harvested. The tree should be left for a few weeks after the last tapping to allow any remaining latex to flow out. Rubber trees are susceptible to a variety of diseases, such as leaf rot, powdery mildew, and brown root rot. To prevent these diseases from damaging your rubber trees, it's important to maintain good sanitation practices. This includes removing fallen leaves and branches from around the base of the tree, as well as disposing of any diseased materials properly. Regular spraying with fungicides can also help prevent the spread of disease. Another aspect of caring for rubber trees is irrigation. Rubber trees require a lot of water, especially during the dry season. If the trees don't receive enough water, they may not produce latex at their maximum capacity. Irrigation can be done using drip systems or sprinklers, depending on the size of the plantation. In addition to fertilizing, pruning, tapping, disease prevention, and irrigation, there are other factors that can impact the quality and quantity of latex produced by rubber trees. One of these factors is the age of the tree. Rubber trees typically reach their peak latex production around 7 to 8 years old and can continue to produce for another 20 years or more with proper care. Another factor to consider is the climate. Rubber trees grow best in warm, humid environments, but extreme temperatures and prolonged droughts can have a negative impact on latex production. It's important to monitor the weather and adjust irrigation and other management practices accordingly. Lastly, it's worth noting that there are different varieties of rubber trees, each with their own unique characteristics and requirements. Some varieties may produce more latex than others, while some may be more disease-resistant. It's important to choose the right variety for your specific location and needs. Another important factor to consider when caring for rubber trees is the soil. The soil should be well drained, fertile, and slightly acidic, with a pH level between 6 and 7. If the soil is too alkaline or too acidic, it can have a negative impact on the growth and health of the rubber trees. Soil testing should be done regularly to ensure that the soil pH level is within the optimal range. In addition to soil testing, regular soil management practices are important to maintain soil fertility and health. This includes adding organic matter, such as compost or manure, to the soil, as well as rotating crops to prevent soil depletion. Soil erosion can also be a concern in areas with heavy rainfall, so measures should be taken to prevent erosion, such as contour plowing or planting cover crops. Another factor to consider when caring for rubber trees is pest management. Rubber trees can be attacked by a variety of pests, including insects, mites, and rodents. Pesticides can be used to control these pests, but care should be taken to avoid excessive use of chemicals that can harm the environment and the health of those working with the rubber trees. It's also important to consider the economic and social impacts of rubber tree cultivation. Rubber trees can provide a sustainable source of income for farmers in tropical regions, but the industry has also been associated with deforestation, land grabbing, and labor abuses. Growing and caring for chili plants is a fascinating and rewarding experience that can provide fresh, flavorful chili peppers for cooking or adding spice to dishes. Chili plants are relatively easy to grow and care for, requiring minimal attention and maintenance. In this 2,000-word essay, we will explore the techniques for growing and caring for chili plants, including selecting the right soil, providing adequate water and nutrients, and managing pests and diseases. One of the most critical aspects of growing chili plants is choosing the right soil. Chili plants require well-draining soil with a pH level between 6.0 and 7.0. Soil that is too acidic or too alkaline can lead to stunted growth or even death of the plant. It is recommended to use a potting mix that contains perlite, vermiculite, or coarse sand, which can improve drainage and prevent waterlogging. Additionally, adding compost or aged manure to the soil can provide the plant with essential nutrients and improve soil structure. Water is another crucial factor in growing chili plants. The plants require consistent moisture, but overwatering can lead to root rot and other diseases. It is best to water the plants deeply once or twice a week, depending on the weather and the soil's moisture level. It is also essential to avoid getting water on the leaves, as this can encourage fungal growth and other diseases. Additionally, adding a layer of mulch around the plant can help retain moisture and prevent the soil from drying out too quickly. Chili plants require adequate nutrients to grow and produce fruit. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium are the primary macronutrients that chili plants need in large quantities. It is recommended to use a balanced fertilizer with an NPK ratio of May 10, 2010 or October 10, 2010 every 2 to 3 weeks during the growing season. Additionally, adding organic matter such as compost, aged manure, or bone meal can provide the plant with essential micronutrients such as calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. Pests and diseases can also be a significant challenge when growing chili plants. Aphids, spider mites, and whiteflies are common pests that can damage the leaves and stunt growth. It is recommended to use an insecticidal soap or neem oil to control these pests. Fungal diseases such as powdery mildew, blossom end rot, and root rot can also affect the plant's health. Proper watering techniques, avoiding overhead watering, and providing adequate airflow can help prevent fungal growth. When it comes to selecting the right chili plant, there are many varieties to choose from, each with its unique flavor and level of spiciness. Some popular varieties include jalapenos, habaneros, cayennes, and Thai chilies. It is recommended to select a variety that matches your taste preferences and growing conditions. For example, some varieties may require more heat or humidity than others. In terms of planting and care, chili plants can be grown either indoors or outdoors, depending on the climate and growing season. It is recommended to start the plants indoors 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost date and then transplant them outdoors once the weather has warmed up. Additionally, providing the plant with adequate sunlight, either natural or artificial, can help promote growth and fruit production. In addition to the aforementioned techniques, there are other tips and tricks that can help improve the success rate of growing chili plants. For example, providing the plants with support, such as staking or trellising, can help prevent the plants from falling over and breaking under the weight of the fruit. This can be particularly important for larger varieties, such as habaneros and jalapenos. Another important aspect of caring for chili plants is pruning. Pruning can help promote bushier growth and more abundant fruit production. It is recommended to prune the plants once they have reached a height of 6 to 8 inches, removing any weak or damaged stems and leaving only the strongest ones. Additionally, pruning can help improve airflow around the plant, reducing the risk of fungal diseases. It is also important to be aware of the chili plant's life cycle and adjust care accordingly. Chili plants typically have a lifespan of 1 to 2 years, depending on the growing conditions and variety. During the first year, the plant will focus on establishing roots and producing foliage, while in the second year, it will focus on producing fruit. Therefore, it is important to adjust watering and fertilizing accordingly, providing more nutrients and water during the second year to encourage fruit production. One factor that is often overlooked when it comes to growing chili plants is the importance of pollination. Chili plants are self-pollinating, meaning that they do not require bees or other insects to transfer pollen between flowers. However, providing the plant with adequate airflow can help promote pollination and fruit development. This can be achieved by placing a fan near the plant or by gently shaking the plant by hand. It is also important to be aware of the growing conditions and adjust care accordingly. For example, chili plants may require more frequent watering during hot and dry weather, and less watering during cooler weather. Additionally, providing the plants with some shade during the hottest part of the day can help prevent sun scald and reduce water loss through evaporation. When it comes to selecting a location for growing chili plants, it is important to choose a spot with plenty of sunlight and protection from the wind. Chili plants thrive in warm temperatures, ideally between 70 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, so selecting a spot with good airflow and ventilation is also important. If growing chili plants indoors, providing adequate artificial light can help promote growth and fruit production. In terms of propagation, chili plants can be grown from seeds or cuttings. Starting from seeds is the most common method and can be done indoors 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost date. Chili seeds are relatively easy to germinate and typically require temperatures between 75 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit to sprout. Once the seeds have sprouted, they should be placed in a sunny location and watered regularly. When the seedlings have reached a height of 2 to 3 inches, they can be transplanted into larger pots or containers. Harvesting chili peppers at the right time is crucial for maintaining the plant's health and productivity. As mentioned earlier, most chili peppers will turn from green to red or orange when fully ripe, indicating that they are ready to be harvested. However, some varieties may stay green even when they are ripe, so it is important to check the individual variety for its specific characteristics. When harvesting chili peppers, it is recommended to use scissors or pruning shears to avoid damaging the plant.
Custard apple, also known as sugar apple, is a delicious tropical fruit that is popular in many parts of the world. It is rich in vitamins A and C, as well as minerals such as calcium and phosphorus. Custard apple trees are easy to grow and can be a great addition to any garden. In this article, we will discuss the methods of growing and caring for custard apple trees. Choosing a suitable site. Choosing a suitable site is the first step in growing custard apple trees. Custard apple trees prefer well-drained soils with a pH of 6.0 to 7.5. They require a lot of sunlight, so it is recommended to plant them in an area where they can receive at least 6 hours of direct sunlight each day. Custard apple trees also need protection from strong winds that can damage their branches. Soil preparation. Custard apple trees thrive in soils that are rich in organic matter. Therefore, it is essential to prepare the soil before planting the trees. The soil should be tilled and mixed with compost or manure to improve its fertility. Adding bone meal or superphosphate to the soil can also improve its phosphorus content, which is essential for the growth and development of the trees. Planting custard apple trees. Custard apple trees are usually propagated by seed or grafting. Grafting is the preferred method as it produces trees that bear fruit of superior quality. The best time to plant custard apple trees is in the spring when the weather is warm and the soil is moist. Before planting the tree, dig a hole that is twice as wide and deep as the root ball. Place the tree in the hole and fill it with soil, making sure to tamp it down firmly around the roots. Water the tree thoroughly and add a layer of mulch around the base to retain moisture. Irrigation. Custard apple trees require regular irrigation to thrive. The amount of water required depends on the age of the tree, the type of soil, and the weather conditions. Young trees require more water than mature trees, and sandy soils require more water than clay soils. During the first year after planting, water the tree deeply once a week. After the first year, reduce the frequency of watering but increase the amount of water each time. Fertilization. Custard apple trees require regular fertilization to produce high-quality fruit. Fertilizers should be applied 3 times a year, in the spring, summer, and fall. A balanced fertilizer with a ratio of 8:3:9 or October 10, 2010 is suitable for custard apple trees. Apply the fertilizer evenly around the base of the tree, making sure not to get it on the leaves or trunk. Pruning. Pruning is essential for the growth and development of custard apple trees. It helps to shape the tree and promote the growth of new branches and fruit. Pruning should be done during the dormant season, which is usually in the winter. Remove any dead, diseased, or damaged branches and any branches that are crossing or rubbing against each other. Leave a few strong branches to form the framework of the tree. Pest and disease control. Custard apple trees are susceptible to a variety of pests and diseases, including fruit fly, scale insects, and fungal diseases. It is essential to monitor the trees regularly for any signs of pests or diseases and take appropriate measures to control them. This may include the use of insecticides or fungicides or the removal of infected or infested plant parts. Trees can produce a bountiful harvest of delicious fruit. Custard apples are typically harvested when the fruit is fully matured but still firm. Ripe fruit is sweet and creamy, with a flavor that is often compared to a combination of banana, pineapple, and vanilla. Harvesting. Custard apple fruit is usually harvested by hand when the fruit is fully matured but still firm. Ripe fruit is sweet and creamy, with a flavor that is often compared to a combination of banana, pineapple, and vanilla. Custard apples should be harvested carefully to avoid damaging the fruit or the tree. Once harvested, the fruit should be stored in a cool, dry place to prolong its shelf life. Propagation. Custard apples can be propagated from seeds, but this method is not recommended as it can result in trees that produce fruit of inferior quality. Grafting is the preferred method of propagation as it produces trees that bear fruit of superior quality. Grafting involves joining a scion from a high-quality tree onto a rootstock from a hardy, disease-resistant tree. Common varieties. There are several common varieties of custard apple that are grown around the world, including African Pride, a variety that is popular in Africa and produces fruit that is large and sweet. Hillary White, a variety that is popular in Australia and produces fruit that is creamy and fragrant. Pink's Mammoth, a variety that is popular in California and produces fruit that is large and juicy. These are just a few of the many custard apple varieties that are available, each with its own unique characteristics and flavor.